Okay, let's have a look at the answers to these puzzles. First let's tackle the easy one.
And it's black to play and mate in 1. Here are the squares around the white king. The dark squared bishop covers 2 of them, the queen another, and the light squared bishop another square, which leaves g3 as the only safe square. How can black finish the game? We know that moving your queen next to the enemy king can be very powerful, as long as it's defended and no other enemy piece can take it. Can you spot a square next to the white king that the black queen can move to safely? The black queen could take white's pawn on f3. It would be defended by both the pawn and bishop, so the white king couldn't take it, but you must be sure that no other white piece can take the queen here. Well, f3 is a safe square for the black queen. The medium puzzle is white to play and mate in 2. Black has castled, but the pawns have been taken. You must try to look after the pawns in front of your king. At the moment, this black bishop stops the white queen giving checkmate. Perhaps we can get a trampoline for the queen, so that it can bounce over the black bishop. Unfortunately, trampolines are not allowed in chess, so we will have to find another way for the queen to get past the bishop. We could go round the bishop. Is this safe? The black pawn could take the queen, couldn't it? Actually, the black pawn wouldn't be allowed to take the queen. Can you spot why? Well done if you spotted that the black pawn is pinned. And because the black pawn is stuck, it's safe for the queen to move to g6. Well, black can't take the queen, but black could move the king or block check. But whatever black chooses, white will still move the queen to h7. And finally the hard puzzle, white to play and mate in 3. And again we can see that if the white queen could use a trampoline, we could give checkmate straight away. What a shame! Now black's f7 pawn isn't pinned this time, so we can't move the queen round the h6 pawn, because black could just take it. So the hard puzzle is harder than the medium puzzle. And look! Both our knights are under attack. So we need to use some imagination. The f6 knight stops the black king from moving. So think about this. What happens if white plays queen takes pawn? What happens if black takes white's queen with the rook? Well, white can finish this game off right now. And that's only 2 moves. So black can't take the queen, but there are other possible checkmates here for white. There's our original plan to get the queen to h7. But there's a new plan. Black has to take the queen with the rook. And with the rook not defending f7 anymore, white's knight can give checkmate. How can black stop this? We already know taking the queen won't work, but here are the other possibilities. Let's go through them quickly. If black takes the g5 knight, if black moves the g-pawn, if black moves the queen onto the 7th rank, if the rook moves to g8, The white queen is on her way to h7, and black can't take both knights. And if black moves the queen to e8, the only way to stop queen takes rook checkmate is to take the queen. And if you worked all of that out by yourself, well done, you've got a really good chess brain.